Assalamu alaikum. I am Professor Aasiya Khatun Muhammad Idris from Chemistry Department of J.A.T.rts Science and Commerce College for Women, Malegaon. In this video lecture, we are going to see some basic concepts of chemistry. Before going to actual details, I would first like to let you know something about science. Science has been derived from a Latin word scientia, which means knowledge. This word science, with which we are very familiar, has basically been taken from our Latin word scientia, which means knowledge. That means science is knowledge, but the question is, what type of knowledge is it? According to one of the definitions, the knowledge gained through observations and experimentations is known as science. The knowledge which is based on observations and experimentation is taken as science. Other knowledge which don't fall in this category cannot be taken as science. As science deals with nature, it is called as natural philosophy. The basic and principal focus of science is to study nature, and that is why it is an organized study of nature. In other words, science is the continuous human efforts to get systematic knowledge for describing and understanding nature. For the sake of convenience, science is subdivided into various disciplines like chemistry, physics, biology, and geology, etc. Our main focus in this lecture is chemistry. So, let's understand what is chemistry. Chemistry is the branch of science that deals with the study of properties, composition, and behavior, that means interaction of matter. You may ask here one question, that what is matter? Let me tell you that anything that has mass and occupies some space is called as matter. Basic constituents of matter are atoms and molecules. That is why chemistry is called the science of atoms and molecules. Chemists are interested in knowing how chemical transformations occur. Chemistry plays a central role in science and often intertwined with other branches of science like physics, biology, etc. Chemistry also plays an important role in daily life. Chemical principles are important in diverse areas such as weather pattern, functioning of brain and operation of a computer. Chemical industries manufacturing fertilizers, alkalis, acids, salts, dyes, polymers, drugs, soaps, detergents, metals, alloys and other inorganic and organic chemicals including new materials contribute in a big way to the nation's economy. Chemistry plays an important role in the meeting human needs for food, health care products, and other materials aimed at improving the quality of life. This is exemplified by large-scale production of a variety of fertilizers, improved variety of pesticides, and insecticides. Similarly, many life-saving drugs such as cisplatin and Taxol are effective in cancer therapy, and azithromycin used for helping AIDS victims have been isolated from plants and animal sources or prepared by synthetic methods. With a better understanding of chemical principles, it has now become possible to design and synthesize new materials having specific magnetic, electric, and optical properties. This has led to the production of superconducting ceramics, conducting polymers, optical fibers, and large-scale reduction of solid waste. In recent years, chemistry has tackled with a fair degree of success some of the pressing aspects of environmental degradation. Safer alternatives to environmentally hazardous refrigerants like CFCs, that means chlorofluorocarbons, responsible for ozone depletion in the stratosphere, have been successfully synthesized. However, many big environmental problems continue to be matters of grave concern to the chemists. One such problem is the management of the greenhouse gases like methane, carbon dioxide, etc. Understanding of biochemical processes, use of enzymes for large-scale production of chemicals and synthesis of new exotic materials are some of the intellectual challenges for the future generation of chemists. A developing country like India needs talented and creative chemists for accepting such challenges. We have seen that what is matter. Now we should also be aware of states of matter. There are three physical states of matter called solid, liquid and gas. In solids, constituent particles are held very close to each other in an orderly fashion and there is not much freedom of movement. In liquids, the particles are close to each other but they can move around. However, in gases, the particles are far apart as compared to those present in solid or liquid states and their movement is easy and fast. Because of such arrangement of particles, different states of matter exhibit certain characteristics such as solids have definite volume and definite shape. Liquids have definite volume but not the definite shape. They take the shape of the container in which they are placed. Gases have neither definite volume nor definite shape. They completely occupy the container in which they are placed. Intermolecular forces of attraction are very strong in solids than liquids and gases have almost negligible forces of attraction. Also, gases are compressible while liquid and solids are not. There are three states of matter, that is liquid, solid and gas, which are interconvertible by changing the conditions of temperature and pressure. On heating a solid, it usually changes to a liquid and the liquid on further heating changes to the gaseous, that means vapor state. In the reverse process, a gas on cooling liquefies to the liquid and the liquid on further cooling freezes to the solid. Likewise, conversion of solid directly into vapor state is called as sublimation and its reverse process, that means conversion of vapor to solid, is called as deposition. Now we shall look for the classification of matter. At the macroscopic or bulk level, matter can be classified as mixtures or pure substances. These can be further subdivided as shown in this figure. Many of the substances present around us are mixtures. For example, sugar solution in water, air, tea, etc. are all mixtures. A mixture contains two or more substances present in it in any ratio which are called its components. A mixture may be homogeneous or heterogeneous. In a homogeneous mixture, the components completely mix with each other and its composition is uniform throughout. Sugar solution and air are thus the examples of homogeneous mixtures. In contrast to this, in heterogeneous mixtures, the composition is not uniform throughout and sometimes the different components can be observed. For example, the mixtures of salt and sugar, grains and pulses along with some dirt, often stone pieces, are heterogeneous mixtures. You can think of many more examples of mixtures which you come across in the daily life. It is worthwhile to mention here that the components of mixture can be separated using physical methods such as simple hand picking, filtration, crystallization, distillation, etc. Now, pure substances have characteristics different from the mixtures. They have fixed compositions, whereas mixtures may contain the components in any ratio and their composition is variable. Copper, silver, gold, water, glucose are some examples of pure substances. Glucose contains carbon, hydrogen and oxygen in a fixed ratio and thus, like all other pure substances, has a fixed composition. Also, the constituents of pure substances cannot be separated by simple physical methods. Pure substances can be further classified into elements and compounds. An element consists of only one type of particles. These particles may be atoms or molecules. See in this figure, sodium, copper, silver, hydrogen, oxygen, etc. are some examples of elements. They all contain only one type of atoms. However, the atoms of different elements are different in nature. Some elements such as sodium or copper contain single atoms held together as their constituent particles, whereas in some others, two or more atoms combine to give molecules of the element. Thus, hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen gases consist of molecules in which two atoms combine to give their respective molecules. See now, when one hydrogen atom combines with other hydrogen atom, it forms hydrogen molecule. Likewise, in case of oxygen, two oxygen atoms combines to give one oxygen molecule, one O2 molecule. Now, what is compound? When two or more atoms of different elements combines, the molecule of a compound is obtained. The example of some compounds are water, ammonia, carbon dioxide, sugar, etc. The molecule of water and carbon dioxide are shown here. We see here that a water molecule comprises 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. Similarly, a molecule of carbon dioxide contains 2 oxygen atoms combined with 1 carbon atom. Thus, the atoms of different elements are present in a compound in a fixed and definite ratios, and this ratio is characteristic of a particular compound. Also, the property of a compound are different from those of its constituent elements. For example, hydrogen and oxygen are gases, whereas the compounds formed by their combination, that is, water is a liquid. It is interesting to note that hydrogen burns with a pop sound and oxygen is a supporter of combustion, but water is used as a fire extinguisher. Moreover, the constituents of a compound cannot be separated into simpler substances by physical methods. They can be separated by chemical methods. Let's move further. Every substance has unique or characteristic properties. These properties can be classified into two categories: physical properties and chemical properties. Physical properties are those properties which can be measured or observed without changing the identity of the composition of the substance. Some examples of physical properties are color, odor, melting point, boiling point, density, etc. The measurement or observation of chemical properties require a chemical change to occur. The example of chemical properties are characteristic reactions of different substances. These include acidity or basicity or combustibility. That's all from me for today. Thanks for watching.